Gentlemen, at this time, we'd ask you to please rise if you're able and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem.
And the long winding road comes to a finish here today. The Gulls from Tantallon looking to cap off a near perfect season. Just 2 losses to their name all year long, and the Novas looking to play spoiler. They found their way all the way here. You're listening to High Button Sports here from the Dartmouth Zatzman Sportsplex for the championship game for the Nova Scotia U15 Major Provincial Championships. I'm joined here with former U18 champion Logan Carruthers. Welcome to the house, Logan. How you doing?
Good, Sean. Thanks for having me, and this one is going to be a good one. Thanks for tuning in, folks.
So off the hop here, lots of star power on both sides, and we're going to be looking at 2 contrasting styles here as we're off and underway as the Novas looking to make something happen here off the hop, and they'll work that one down low. That one's collecting now. Grayson Sears, who you highlighted as a big player to watch in this one and a big X factor for the Gulls.
Yeah, Grayson Sears and Bowen Cranston, you know they're going to be the high-flying offense for the Gulls, as here's Cranston the other way.
Here's Cranston, works it in. Bowen Cranston, dangerous everywhere he is on the ice as a stick shatters, and we'll have our first penalty game, and you can bet that those guys will get out there at some point on this power play. But 2 contrasting styles, one team that likes to score at a high rate and another team that thrives on keeping it out of their net.
Yeah, the Novas have been playing the same kind of style hockey since I played against them, that prides himself on very solid defensive hockey. I know their assistant defense coach, Ben McClellan, he played a high-level defense at the U18 level, and he was a very solid defender, and he knows how to defend at this level. So they'll pride themselves on that. The Gulls pride themselves on their goal-scoring ability, especially from 14 and 9, Cranston and Sears.
We'll see how that goes here on their first look on the man advantage. Almost turned right over, but that one does come back in over the line. And, of course, we talk about that Cranston-Sears matrix, but over on the other side, Noel Romard, second in rookie scoring behind Cranston. What factor is he going to play today for the Novas?
Yeah, he's had a big tournament. He had a hat trick in the semifinals to bring his team to the finals here as he capped off a big game against Pictou, and he's a high-flying offensive player as well. And he's just a rookie as well, so he was named to the Rookie All-Star line, so look for him to also have an impact in this game.
And here's Colton McIsaac. Had a couple of goals in the opener as they dig away at that one here. Picked up now by the Gulls. They'll look to move that one up ice. They'll play it back in. Here's Che Ruiz. Ruiz will drop that one back. Plays it up here. Parker Douglas. He's had himself a bit of a tournament here. That one goes right back in. Picked up, back the other way now. Here come the Novas, shorthanded. They'll take that one up. Here's McIsaac, Colton McIsaac dashing on through. He's in, and Wyatt Esba will cover that one up. And starting goalies here today over at the Novas end, it's Landon Wilson, 11-4-0 record. He's 3-0 this tournament with a 1.00 goals against, .953 save percentage, and he's one of the top goalies in U15 this year, and he should play a big factor today.
Yeah, down the other end, Wyatt Espa getting back-to-back starts here. He started the semifinals, had a good solid outing there. He looks to get back-to-back wins here and win a provincial championship. In the tournament, Wyatt Espa has a 3-0 record, has a shutout, only allowed 9 goals against, a goals against average of 3 and an .881 save percentage.
Battling here in the corner now. Approaching 30 seconds remaining here on that first power play of the game, and that one comes out, so maybe a little bit of jitters, but the Gulls not able to get sustained offensive zone pressure as that one passed up now. Here's Colin Crawford. Crawford in alone, firing that one just over the net.
Yeah, Wyatt Espa well out into the blue paint, and he gave him nothing to shoot at. That's why that one went wide.
That one's dropped off now. That one's collected. That one comes free, and that'll be picked up, sent down the distance. And that will just about do it here. So the Gulls 0 for 1 here on the power play today. And in a game that could be low scoring, it could be high scoring, you have to imagine those special teams moments aren't going to be very easy to come by.
Yeah, no, unless it's very obvious, it's probably not going to get called here in the championship game.
Collected now by the Novas. They'll look to build some momentum of their own after a big penalty kill here to start this one. Parker Douglas trying to work it up top. Douglas walks in shooting, sends that one over and back out in front for the Gulls as Lakua Calvert had a chance on the doorstep. That one comes right back, sent right back around. Calvert has it back in behind the net. He's being dogged here by 3 Novas, and that one comes free. That one's going to be collected, fires it off the boards here for Colton McIsaac. Here comes McIsaac. Up over center, he'll chip that one in. He gets that one back in deep here. Here's Noel Romard, the rookie, back up top. He gets it right back. Romard spinning and shooting, and Esba will steer that one aside. That one comes free now. McIsaac doesn't win the battle. That one's going to come right back here. Greenwood activating from his defensive post here, cutting wide, and he'll send that one back down. Grayson Sears now, top line back out there for the Gulls of Sears, Cranston, and the captain cannon. Here's Cranston stealing that one away. Stolen away now by the Novas. They'll fire that one in, and Esba gloves it down, and he'll play it off here as he's got that top line out there trying to get as much run out of that top group as he can. That one's stolen away now. Asher Sampson drops it off. Here they come here, and Peoples couldn't gain any traction, and that one comes right back out. But a great offensive play as Cranston stripped him of the puck and almost created a turnover back the other way.
Yeah, good job by the Novas, too, making sure they're not letting guys get in behind them and making sure they're reading good passes and outlets from the Gulls.
What's collected now is Fraser. Sends it up the wall for Crawford. It comes right back for Fraser. Plays it back in behind his net. We'll look to throw that one up ice, and that one's going to go down the distance. And that one's going to go just out to the left of Esbon. Like you just mentioned, Logan, that's going to be part of the key, is that the Gulls love to play with a lot of speed. They transition very quickly, and they get in behind the defense and give those guys open looks. So what is it that the Novas have to do to protect those areas of the ice from that stretch?
Yeah, Sean, like I just mentioned, keeping them in front of you, making sure you have 5 white jerseys up ice in front of you is going to be key for these guys. And also, knowing where those guys are, if they are behind you, knowing that you're in between the passing route from their defenseman up to them, and you can intercept passes like you saw there in the neutral zone.
And for the Novas, that's where a lot of their success came from early in the tournament, keeping those games low scoring. As that one's going to come right back up. A shot from the point and redirected. That one goes down into the corner as we approach the 5-minute mark here of period number 1. Crawford sends it up to the line, and Mason Dufour sends that one back in. Trying to chip that one away, back in, down into the corner. That's collected now by Jack Zwicker. Here's Jollymore. He'll play that one across. Back up top, shot right on, steered away by Wilson. Flipping that one up. That one's all the way down. Doesn't have enough for icing, so Dufour will have to go back to collect. Here's Mason Dufour. There's that stretch pass, but just offside. And like we talked about, and I feel like that's a point you can't hammer home enough, a few steps back, and he has free reign right to the net.
Yeah, no, the Novas almost got caught on a change there. They got the puck out, but a good weight on it, but just wasn't enough. They quickly transitioned back up. Jack Zwicker had a very impressive game yesterday. He was heavy on the forecheck. He had great poise in tight. I think he got rewarded with a goal as well, in a power play goal as well. So, yeah, Jack Zwicker had a good game last night. He just tried to break in one step offside, and you got to be careful if you're the Novas on the change there.
That one's going to be played right back. Here are the Novas. They'll collect. They'll pass that one ahead here. So he'll get that one to center and fire that one back in. Novas looking to get a forecheck going, but that one swings right to the Gulls. That one's played the other way now. Here comes Calvert, a foot race for it, but the Novas will get there first. As engaging in the battle there is Roddy Gillis with Calvert. Charlie McKinnon joining the fray there as that one going to be chipped away here as Pelham trying to dump that one back in, and that one comes out. Foot race for it now. Here comes Alex Don McDonald bearing down on Che Ruiz. Battle for it here in the Novas. Trying to win a battle here as they haven't had those small battle wins. It's been few and far between here to start. One sent right back in. Landon Wilson giving that one off here for McIsaac. Plays it across. That one takes a bounce. Comes right back here for Lincoln McDonald. Plays it back across here for Cohen Fraser. Gets that one up to center, trying to work it in. That one's pinballed right in the neutral zone. Up for Cranston. Here's Bowen Cranston's shot. Steered away by Wilson, but a good job for the Novas just to keep him and make that his only option.
Yeah, there hasn't been anything really in tight or into the middle of the ice for the Novas here so far, or sorry, for the Gulls so far. The Novas doing a good job keeping the Gulls to the outside, allowing Wilson to see the puck and make the save.
Well, and the Gulls really controlling a lot of that offensive pressure here early, but the Novas doing a good job keeping them to the outside. They haven't allowed them to get any of that middle part of the ice that the Gulls thrive so much in, especially when that top unit's out there.
Yeah, and that's what the Novas pride themselves on, is the solid defense, and you're seeing a good display of it here so far.
Played down low is Greenwood. Runs down low. He's got a man patrolling the point, but that one's going to be dropped back. In a break here for the Novas. They'll take that one back the other way. Colin Crawford taken down, and the Novas will get their first look with the man advantage of the day, and we highlighted it. Special teams, one of the keys here. This is the kind of game that can come down to a goal, and Evan Sargent Greenwood heading off, giving the Novas their first look on the power play. What do they have to do to crack this Gulls penalty kill?
Yeah, you know what? I think they got to get pucks to the net and just crash. It's not going to be a pretty goal, I don't think. It's going to be a tight, in-close play, jamming it home, and I think that fits perfectly into the Nova style.
Power play starts with a face-off win for the Gulls. Romard pinching in there. Taken away now. Here comes Pelham. Works that one up, and that one's going to come all the way back. Collected now. Here come the Novas. Passed ahead for Peoples. Here's Ryland Peoples over the line, and that one's going to be just offside and a break there. They almost found a little bit of a gap, but for the Novas, it's going to be all about getting that setup going, as they haven't done thus far.
Yeah, the Gulls with a good start to the penalty kill, making sure the Novas didn't get set up. Good pressure from them here to start, as you are going to turn into some veterans now to try to kill off the back. Minute and 36 seconds in Sears and Cannon on the front end.
That one's going to be won back by the Novas midway through period number one. That one's passed up now. Here come the Novas. They'll send that one back in deep. Trying to chop that one ahead. Played up to the hashes now. Back up top. Shot from the point through. It gets through, and Esbaugh makes the save. Peoples, as that one's poked away, Sears got a stick on that one, and a good defensive play by Sears just to kill off a few more seconds off that penalty as that one goes down and icing waved off.
Yeah, the linesman called that one off because he thought Kennedy could have got to it. It's going to work out for the Gulls there. Kennedy, a great job spinning off a check and getting it all the way 200 feet. Killing off some more clock here on the man advantage for the Novas.
Down to 50 seconds left on that power play. Oliver McMullen will play that one ahead. That one's over the line, chasing it in. Here's McDonald, but Ruiz is the first one to it, and he'll fire that one up off the glass, and that one does escape. Pelham, shorthanded, tried for a break. Turns it over here. McDonald plays it back for Fraser. Works it up over the line. Dropping it back. Here come the Novas shooting. Esbaugh with a save there. There's McDonald. Lincoln McDonald plays it across. He shoots, sends that one just wide. A heavy shot from the point. Doesn't get on goal. Here's Fraser. Dropping it off. Colton McIsaac trying to send that one down low. Instead, he shoots on the outside there. I think Esbaugh got a piece of it, but it spits out to the far side. It's picked up here by Pelham, who will flip that one up way into the rafters, but it stays in play, and it's gloved down by McIsaac. Calvert heading off for the change. Back to 5-on-5. McIsaac with a shot there, and Esbaugh gloving it down, and a successful penalty kill. And so far as we get our feet wet in this one. Great defensive play from both these teams, not trying to force anything.
Yeah, no, they've done a great job making sure either team has kind of been out to the outside. There hasn't been really a tight, in close one-on-one with the goalie opportunity yet so far. But look for it to try to start to, a little cracks in each team's game as they start to figure each other out here in the opening period.
Picked up now, Nova's walk-in shoot, and that one's blocked. That one's going to be collected. Back in behind the net, looking to move it up. Parker Douglas outlets it off on the breakout. Instead, he's going to skate that one up. Here comes Parker Douglas. He shoots. He gets his own rebound there as that one was blocked. And that one comes back the other way now. Odd man rush here for the Novas. 3-on-2. Working it in. Picks it up. Crawford scores! Colin Crawford breaks the ice for the Novas. And they have a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, great job there on the transition, getting it back up ice. Crawford. Sampson took a hit to make the play as he got thumped on the play. Sampson with a great assist, and Crawford, as the goalie slid to the side, he saw the 5-hole open up. I think he was trying to elevate it, fanned on it a little bit, and it slid 5-hole. Espa was in position to make the save, but just found a hole through him, and you see the first crack in this game.
And a lot of that play started with that blocked shot from Parker Douglas at the one end, and you can see where that defensive structure pays off offensively for the Novas as it causes a turnover the other way and ends up in the back of the net. Played ahead now. Trying to chop it up. Just out of the reach there of Romard. So now the Novas have the icebreaker as the Gulls looking for a response. Here comes Sears. Flipping that one in. Bowen Cranston in on the forecheck, and the Gulls responding with that top line, trying to get some offense here. Romard playing that one up for Lincoln McDonald. Plays that one right back and around. Trying to send it up the wall. Off the boards. That one's up, held in by Cannon. Cannon trying to play it. That one comes back the other way. Colton McIsaac gives it back for Ruiz. Ruiz will fire that one in, and that one's going to be covered up by Wilson. And you can see the Gulls, the further we get into this game, what can we expect as far as responding with that top line?
Yeah, I think you're going to see them come out a little bit more, especially down by 1 here in the first. But I always say, it takes 4 lines to win a championship. The Novas do a great job at cycling through all 4 lines. So it's going to be a challenge now of the Novas. If that line goes out double shifts here in the rest of this game, is how are they going to adapt and which line are they going to match up with?
Well, and the trouble for the Gulls too then becomes how much are you playing these guys now and how much will that affect them later on?
Yeah, and they were down they were down big in one of the games earlier on this weekend, and Cranston had a big third period for them, had a hat trick in that game, brought them back, and they ended up winning 5-4. Yesterday, a big game 2 for them. They won by 2 goals in a high-scoring event. Cranston and Sears combined with 4 goals yesterday. So 2 hat tricks back-to-back for Cranston, 6 goals in 2 games. Can he carry it over into this game is going to be the question for the Gulls.
And that's going to be one of the big keys for them, as that one's going to be won back. Here's Rain McDonald. That one's passed ahead. Little backhand off the wall. Played ahead here. Sends it right back in, and McDonald plays it back, and top line back out there, of course, coming out every second shift now. Nova's maybe looking for a bit of insurance here early on, and still far too early to be gaming out those scenarios, but for the Novas, it's going to be about maintaining as that one's stolen away by McIsaac, and he fires that one just high. Here's Sampson up to the line, but that one gets just out there, and once again, we see that line out there, and the Novas take advantage of a turnover and fire that one just over the net. Now the Novas looking for a bit of insurance here. But of course, as we saw last night with the Wolverines, they led 2-0, and the Gulls found their way back in it, so they're never down and out.
Yeah, Sean, this one isn't going to end 1-0, I don't think. So for the Novas, yeah, look to try to keep things going offensively, but at the same time, they got to make sure they don't allow the Gulls to get back in this, trying to make offense out of maybe something that might not be there and given to them, and kind of maybe getting outside of their structure, trying to create that second goal.
And and the Novas team, as we highlighted, they pride themselves on their defensive structure, and you almost can't get too caught in the idea of grinding them down. You're probably not going to win by 1 goal, and it's probably not going to end 1-0. So what do the Novas have to do to sort of keep that engine rolling, keep moving the sticks, keep rolling those lines?
Yeah, well, I think they've done a great job to start as getting pucks in deep, making the defense for the Gulls pay. They've come out physical here to start the game, and I think that's going to take a toll on the Gulls throughout this one. It's been a long weekend for both teams, and I just think with the structure and the way the Novas play, that hard physical style, playoff style game, as it might benefit them here coming down to the back end of this game, playing physical, as you saw a big hit there, and that's going to be a penalty now. The Gulls go back to their second power play.
Here comes Jollymore, played across, and yes, delayed penalty. The Novas will touch up. So the Gulls 0 for 1 on the day. We'll get another look here on the power play, and look who hops over the boards. Grayson Sears joining Cannon and Cranston. Ruiz out there too. So that big line comes out here to try to get a big equalizer for the Gulls.
Yeah, the first one didn't go as drawn up probably for them, so they'll try maybe a different game plan here. Cranston's a smart player. He'll adapt to what's given to him and what's not, so we'll see how they switch things up here potentially for the second power play.
That one's back up now for Cranston. He plays it across. Cranston running the bumper on that power play as that one's dropped for Cannon. In front for Douglas, and that one will come away.
You instantly saw a different look there. Douglas popping out instead of driving towards the net on that one. So a different look right away for the Gulls to start the power play.
That one swung around. Cranston settling that one down with his blade there. Picked up Douglas. Across. Shot from the point. Kicked away by Wilson. A shot from distance there as Cranston fires that one. That one's blocked and slapped away by Fraser. Picked up by the Novas. They'll flip it up, but they can't get it out. Douglas across for Cannon, who holds the line. Cannon trying to throw that one on. That one stolen away, and the Novas send that one off the boards. But a bit of a different look. Cranston playing the bumper. And, of course, a very important position on the power play to be running for Cranston.
Yeah, he's got great vision. So, yeah, maybe they're going to try to eliminate him up top, try to isolate him up top and take him out of the equation. So he's going to say, okay, you want to do that? I'm going to go right in the middle of the ice, and let's see what opens up to the sides of me.
That one's going to be chopped up, held in by Douglas. Here's Parker Douglas, walks in, shoots, and that one's blocked. Comes free for Sears, fires that one, stopped by Wilson. And the Novas will send that one down the distance here for Esba to play.
Yeah, the Novas doing another great job at keeping everything to the outside. Shots coming from outside of the house area, I guess you could say, that house-type drawn-up fake style in the zone.
Here comes Sears, drops that back, almost had free reign right to the goal as we enter inside 90 seconds left here in the first. Here come the Gulls dashing through. Parker Douglas with a shot. That one's blocked. Taken away now. Here comes Asher Sampson, plays it up. Back the other way, Colin Crawford. He's got one and fires that one. And Esba will glove it down, make the stop. Back the other way now. Here come the Gulls. Jack Zwicker looking for a full five-man press here as he'll play it off for Jollymore. Successful kill for the Novas, but the Gulls still have it in the offensive zone. Mac Mullen turns that over. Here's Zwicker, stolen away. Pelham in front. On the doorstep was Jollymore, just missed wide.
That's been the best chance for the Gulls here so far.
Back up to Greenwood with a shot, flutters it on from the point, and Wilson making a stop there with 39.5 seconds to go. And the Gulls haven't gotten a lot of traffic that they've been able to get pucks through, and that's ultimately been the reason that the Novas have kept them down to a goose egg.
Yeah, and look who's right back out to try to finish off this period and get them on the board. The top line back out for the Gulls to end this one off.
Trying to build a little bit of momentum for the faceoff here out to the right of Wilson. That's one back by Cranston, back up top. Here's Greenwood with a shot. That one's blocked by the stick. That one goes down into the corner. Down to 30 seconds left. That one's played ahead here for McIsaac, trying to chip that one up. Cannon. McIsaac gets that one out as Greenwood. Got a stick on that one, and that one goes down the distance here. Picked up back in behind the net by Kennedy. Here's Paxton Kennedy. Will skate up with it. Less than 15 seconds to go now. Here comes Cranston. Drops it back. Trying to give that one for Cannon. Held in by Greenwood. Evan Sargent Greenwood walks in shooting. That one's blocked. Great job by McIsaac there as Cannon gets it blocked, and time will expire with a blocked shot at the end. And that will do it here. End of period number 1. 1-0 is the score for the Novas.
Yeah, and they played that first period probably as best as they could have drawn that up. They kept everything to the outside, didn't allow odd man rushes. They had 3 guys back on that last one. and they probably blocked 12 shots that period. So a great job by the Novas. The Gulls probably going to go to the X's and O's here, try to maybe change their style of play up here for the second and see if they can't get on the board.
So for the Cranston unit, they weren't given a lot of that downhill pressure that they get from up top, especially on the power play. You saw Cranston running the bumper. And usually Cranston, having that lane to the net, he wasn't given anything on the way through. What do they have to do to open up those lanes?
Yeah, well, I just think the cross-ice pass and using your bumper, right? You're going to put him there, use him there. You know he's going to have a guy on him, but he's good at protecting the puck and making quick plays. He knows where everyone is on the ice. Maybe he, instead of touches the puck, makes a quick stick lift. That seam pass can make its way through. Now you're crashing down on the net, 2-on-2, I guess you could say, with the high guy and the guy in the bumper now taken away. So we'll see if they can adapt here. It's going to be a different line to start the period off, so we'll see if, the other lines can't contribute here as well.
But if you're the Gulls, are you inclined to mix and match that line? Maybe get a bit of a different look, or are you sort of hammering this elite trio of skaters who have gotten you here, but maybe you want a different look to maybe generate some more opportunities?
Yeah, that's tough to say, Sean. I mean, it's you don't want to, change up something that's worked all year for you. I think your other two lines haven't really done anything wrong to be like, oh, you need to switch things up. I think they've played really solid here as well. So I don't think right now, maybe coming down, maybe to the end of the game, you might see maybe a more offensive player, something like Zwicker out there with them. So we'll see. But for right now, I would say no. Don't switch things up until maybe you really are desperation and need to.
That one's picked up down here in the corner. Zwicker trying to send that one up. Sampson, just a little calm chip off the glass, relieves the pressure, gets it up here now. Colton McIsaac dashing in. McIsaac, a backhand on Esba. We'll hop all over that one, and a break there for the Novas. And it feels like a lot of their offense are coming in transition on turnovers. And what is it that they do to generate so many of those?
Well, that one there was just a fortunate bounce off the referee, but I think it's just picking their spots. They don't try to create too many odd man rushes. They just take what's given to them, and I think it's worked so far here in the early goings of this one.
Noel plays it off the back wall. Back the other way is Lakua Calvert. Tried to break it out. Instead, that one stolen away. Slapped right back in. Picked up now. Noel fires that one right off the pads there of Noel Romard. There's McKinnon. Comes right back here. Calvert plays it across. Pelham will fire that one, and that one's collected now by Roddy Gillis. Gillis taking it back in behind. Instead, he's going to drop it off. Nova's looking for a breakout, and they're not going to force it here as McKinnon danced around there. Lincoln McDonald gives that one back to Rain McDonald. Trying to throw that one across, and that one gets broken up, but the Novas calmly will just play it back in their own end. Played ahead, trying to find his outlet. McIsaac there, and that one taken away. McIsaac gets that one up to the line. Ruiz holds it in. Spinning, trying to play it across, and almost a turnover there, but Noel Romard blew a tire at the blue line. Played right back. Here's Rain McDonald. Throws that one up and got a stick on that one, so it won't have enough for icing as Ruiz will go back to play it. Romard takes it back into the corner. Trying to dig that one free. Cranston out there. Plays it ahead for Cannon. Tries to find Sears in the middle, but that one's going to come right back here as Sampson collects it. Will chip that one up. Here comes Asher Sampson. Trying to send that one back in. Sampson drops it in the middle. No one there but Sears. Back up top now. Novas gets set up. Peoples with a shot from the point, and that one stopped by Esba. And a great job tracking that one through the traffic, and a good job by the Novas to sort of create that nonsense in front of him. And for these two teams, they love to create that traffic. And what do you do ultimately that layers that traffic in front, getting multiple bodies?
Yeah, getting pucks from low to high, and you saw Peoples wait just that extra second till the bodies got to the net, and I think that was key there to try to make that a more difficult save. And they've done a great job just putting bodies in front of Wyatt Espa and making it tough for him.
Here's Sears, drops it off. Cranston tries to get that one to Sears. That one's broken up, doesn't get it through. Battle here along the boards as Cranston sends that one to Sears down low, and Sears takes a big hit there, and the Nova's ramping up that physicality. Here's Greenwood trying to send that one back in, back up top. Cannon with a shot, doesn't get through. That one comes back the other way. Here comes McMullen. Oliver McMullen fires that one in off the glass. Chasing that one right back in here is Paxton Kennedy. Tries to give that one back up for McIsaac. That one's going to be stolen away. Here's Kennedy looking up ice. He's going to carry it. Turned over here, Romard. Romard, he's in alone. Noel Romard is stopped by Wyatt Esba, and he did what you mentioned before, Logan. He did a great job cutting down that angle and not giving him a lot to shoot at.
Yeah, the Novas, as you mentioned, they're getting in the passing lanes. They're not allowing the Gulls to make that last tic-tac-toe pass. They're forcing the Gulls to shoot the puck, and I think that's going to have to change their mentality here a little bit on trying to, instead of trying to feed something back door or try to find the high guy coming in late, just put pucks to the net and see what happens.
And Esba, not the kind of guy you're going to beat one-on-one very often, as a penalty on the way here to the Gulls with a Nova down in the corner, and that's going to draw a bit of a skirmish down there, but now the Novas, the Gulls have had 2 chances on the power play now, and the Novas will get their second. What do they have to do now to be more successful with the man advantage?
Yeah, like I just said, for the Gulls, get pucks to the net. I think it's the same thing for the Novas. Just generate something from low to high, get something on Wyatt Esba, and see if there's a rebound there they can't bang home. I know they got some good guys and with some very good talent, but at the same time, they have some big bodies. Crawford, Sampson out there on the power play who have skill, who have size that can take away the eyes of Wyatt Esba.
That one's back up now here for McMullen. Doesn't have a lane. We'll drop it back. Back up top now, Asher Sampson drags and shoots, and that's a good defensive stick there by Pelham to steer that one away. Fires it up the wall here. Back up top, he's going to dash through, walks in shooting. That one's blocked. Picked up now. Here's Crawford. Colin Crawford back up top now for Sampson. Asher Sampson gives that one back. Chipping that one into the middle. McMullen, a backhand pass here. Walking in as Romardi shoots, and that one ends up in the netting. Out of play, and the Gulls doing a great job on the penalty kill. Just what makes a penalty kill so dynamic to the point where you can't get pucks through to the net, and they do such a good job getting out to the points?
Yeah, well, you got to be, A, working as a unit, and B, knowing their role. You're not out there to score goals. You're there to stop goals from going in your net. And they've done a great job at taking away the lanes to the net, too, and making sure they try to isolate guys over to one side.
Here's Asher Sampson now. Along the hashes, gets it back up from McMullen. McMullen with a shot, rebound, scores! Novas lead by 2.
Exactly how I would have drawn it up if I was a Novas. A shot from the point. It was worked low to high. A shot through. Esba kicked the rebound out and burying it home. Peoples right there on the doorstep. Like I said, get pucks to the net and find a rebound, and that's exactly what they did.
And Ryland Peoples, one of the leading goal scorers on this team, finds a way to make an impact here. And the Novas lead by 2, and not a whole lot of momentum for the Gulls going here. But that's the first power play goal of the day, and the Novas lead by 2. That one's picked up now. Henneberry trying to advance. Sears will get that one, fires that one right back around. Less than 5 minutes into the period now. Cranston back out there, so the Gulls responding with that top line once again. That's collected now. Cranston with a shot. Stopped there by Wilson. And for the Novas, how do you not get ahead of yourself here? You're in a championship game. You're leading 2-0 in the second period. What do you have to do to calm yourself down to not break from the structure?
Yeah, you can't ride the highs. You can't ride the lows. You got to try to stay even keel. You know what has been working for you has been your game style, so don't change away from the way you're playing. Stay on the physical side. Make sure you have your guys back. And for them, I think they just got to stay even keel. They can't get up. They can't get down on themselves.
That one's passed up now, Greenwood. Chops that one, almost stolen away there by Peoples. All over it once again, back the other way now. Here comes Roddy Gillis and lays out Paxton Kennedy as he walks into the zone here with 5 minutes gone in the second. Roddy Gillis now sending that one back in. Greenwood being watched here by Peoples. Cranston joining the fray there. Crawford hits his skate, and that one's chipped back up here by Peoples. A shot right on, seared into the corner.
I think he might have been looking for the stick of Sampson on that shot.
Gillis with a shot there and blocks it through, but you might be right. Looking for some kind of redirection, and now a hit along the boards and a skater down for the Gulls as Sears will advance that and Greenwood down after he took an awkward hit to the boards.
Yeah, Greenwood down in some discomfort. I think maybe a shoulder or collarbone. Doesn't look good for him, so we'll give you an update as it comes. But for now, Greenwood down, and we're going to take a quick breath up here in the booth.
So Greenwood a little slow to get up, but getting off mostly under his own strength there.
Yeah, he got up on his own strength, but I think it might have been the collarbone or arm that got jammed up on the boards on the hit. Wasn't dirty. He saw him come in. He turned. It was shoulder on shoulder, but it was just a heavy check, and unfortunate circumstance for Greenwood. Hope he's all right, but they're going to play on, and hopefully the Gulls can try to maybe rally around this and get something on the board maybe for the defenseman down in the tunnel right now.
And that's going to be a big loss for the Gulls moving forward here. We just hope Greenwood is okay. And now we'll see where they're going to put the face-off here.
I think it's going to go right outside the Nova zone.
With the Gulls in transition there, it was Sears, and coming out there now is the line of Jollymore and Zwicker, as that one's going to be one back here. And the Gulls, of course, they have that explosive top line, but they are going to need contributions down the lineup here, as that seems to be what the Novas are getting in at this moment.
Yeah, the Gulls do have pretty much everyone on the roster with a point, and so do the Novas. So it's going to come down to that secondary scoring from your depth lines here, I think, in this one.
McMullen with a shot redirected. I'm not sure Esba got a piece of that out in front there. Can't steer it on, and that one's going to be collected now. Here comes Zwicker. Jack Zwicker over the line. Douglas out in front. That one goes back in behind now. Gulls with that forecheck going on here. You can see a skater here in the bottom part of your screen. Cranston on his feet, ready to get back out there. Is that one stolen away now? A 2-on-1. Here's Lincoln McDonald. He's got a man with him. McDonald across. Stopped on the goal line. It somehow stays out. Esba gets the glove back and keeps it at a 2-goal deficit.
Oh!
And what great awareness from Esba. Sometimes as a goalie, you feel like you have it, but he knew he didn't.
What a save. He reached back at the last possible second. Duggan was right there to make the call, and oh my goodness, that one just kept his team probably in this game.
And that is a massive save at this moment. You don't want to go down 3-0 to a team that routinely keeps them such a low-scoring game. But wow, a big save and a big moment there for Esba, and some Gulls on this team giving their team every reason to rally here as Sears takes that one in, top line back out there, trying to ride the high of a big save. Henneberry plays that one across now for Cranston. Cranston being watched here by Rain McDonald. They'll flip that one up, and that one gets out now. Here come the Novas again, not backing down as Asher Sampson gets that one. He'll flip that one in. That one's collected now by Henneberry. We'll pass that one up for Rain McDonald. Back here, Roddy Gillis has that one, and that one's going to be fired off the board. So maybe one that the Gulls can look back at as a rallying moment as he walks in, shoots, and that's going to be knuckled on Esba, but he makes the stop with the glove. But maybe a moment that the Novas will be looking skyward at later, or maybe one that the Gulls will be looking at as a rallying point.
Absolutely, that could have been the turning point for the Gulls, trying to maybe give them a little wake-up call. Oh, boys, we could have just went down by 3 now, but our goaltender bailed us out, so let's try to get one on the board for him here.
Gulls trying to find their way back into the game, but it's the Novas on the attack here. Poking that one ahead. Great defensive stick there by Henneberry. Back in behind the net. Swings it. Romard just off the outside. Looked like it got a piece of the net there. That one's picked up. Romard trying to center that one. That one steered away as the stick of Noel got in the way. Here's Grayson Sears. We'll flip that one ahead. Back for Cannon as he'll backhand that one back in. Still lots of time left in this one. It feels like we've been playing for ages here.
Yeah, it's still a half a game left, so no reason to get too down on yourself if you're the Gulls. But I think for them, when they enter the zone, they're trying to find that man driving through the middle. I think they just got to get pucks towards the net and see what happens.
Works that one back. McMullen off the back of the net trying to jam that one in, but Wilson stands his ground as that one draws a bit of a crowd. But a great job by Wilson to realize that he wasn't going on the far side of the net, that he was just going to stick and try to jam that one in.
Yeah, and I've really liked this line for the Gulls. I called it their big boy line yesterday. They got McKinnon, Pelham, and Calvert, all big bodies, all don't mind a little physicality, and also they have a little scoring and talent to go along with it. So I think this line can be really effective here in a game that's been tight checking, and the Gulls still just haven't been able to find something to get past Wilson yet.
And like we mentioned, that the goals aren't going to come by easy, and it might be a greasy one that finds its way past Wilson, but that one's going to be sent back down. Collected. Calvert trying to swing that one back up in the middle now. Charlie McKinnon trying to get a shot off, but Wilson's going to hop on that one and prevent the danger from growing in front of him. But a good job by Wilson to recognize just that.
And like I said, I really like the way this line plays. They've had a good offensive zone shift. Let's see if they can build off it. Let's see if the next line over can build off it. And just keep rolling here and try to get 3 lines really into this game for the Gulls.
The way I like to put it, you want to keep moving the sticks, to use a football term. Keep moving the lines. Keep rolling the lines here. The Gulls, a great team top to bottom. Looking to make something happen here as Jollymore gets tied off on the faceoff. It's picked up by the Gulls. Trying to come away with it here. Not able to as Jack Zwicker gets boxed out in that one. Just out of the zone, in the Novas more than happy to just get that out of the zone, get a fresh unit out there, and keep defending. Works that one up over the blue line now. Here come the Gulls. A shot from outside there, a backhand sent just wide. Picking up a little bit of speed here. Back up, Paxton Kennedy. Plays it across, walks in. Douglas shooting, sends it just wide. That one's going to come up to the line. Held in by Kennedy. Fires that one right on the stick here of Inova. Here comes Crawford, back the other way. Colin Crawford over the blue line shooting. Stopped by Esba. And the Nova is more than happy to take those chances back the other way. But a great job recognizing that they were maybe hemmed in their zone a little bit, and more than happy to just chip it out and get a change.
Yeah, no, a good play though, but now let's see if the Gulls can have some offensive zone time now. They had a good couple shifts there. Now you got to build on. You got your top line out there. Let's see if they can have some offensive zone time here on this shift.
Sending that one right back around here. Esba will play it off for Noel. Noel looking up ice. It's turned over. Here's Romard. He's in. And I think that one got a piece of the post. But Romard missing on a big opportunity there as he turned it over and had free reign. Just couldn't bury it. Back the other way now. Here comes Bowen Cranston. He's got the cavalry joining him. Cranston, cross-ice pass there for Henneberry. Couldn't handle it as that one comes right back. Here's Cranston. Almost stolen away, and Rain McDonald will settle it down as we are midway through this one. And that's going to be picked up now. Noel bobbles over his stick and all the way down. Here's Henneberry. Davis Henneberry almost turns that one over. That one's back in behind the net now. Flings that one back up to the top. Shot from the point. Steered away there by Esba. Romard has it in behind the goal line there as that one comes back the other way now. Here comes Miller Cannon. Fires it off the boards. Sending that one all the way down. McMullen chips it up the wall there for Colton McIsaac. Novas breaking that one out. They'll play that one across. Up and over. Sending that one back in. Picked up by Kennedy. Paxton Kennedy up for Charlie McKinnon. Plays it across. finds Cannon cross ice there. Sends that one back down low. McMullen sends it up for Sampson, who gets that one to center. He'll skate with it. He's got open ice ahead of him. Asher Sampson walks in. That one's blocked. Little backhand up, but that'll come all the way back down. And Ray McDonald being dogged here by Lokua Calvert, who is chasing him down. As that one's picked up now, Sampson, game opening up just a little bit. Sampson is in, and Esba hopping on that one, making the stop. And the Nova's looking just a little more dangerous here.
Yeah, I've really liked the game of Sampson here so far. He's played very well defensively, but also turning it right back up ice. He's been rewarded with a couple high and well documented scoring opportunities as well.
Out in front, redirected, scores on the doorstep. And Lincoln McDonald makes it 3-0 for the Novas.
Wow, right off the draw, Lincoln McDonald to the net, found the rebound, and he is fired up here. Championship Sunday, what a game for the Novas it's been so far.
And what a good read off the faceoff, and sometimes coaches will preach, just get it to the net. The goalie's job is just to save the first one, and the defense wasn't there to clean it up.
Yeah, no, the Novas, I've been saying it, and the Gulls haven't really been doing it, is getting pucks to the net and trying to find rebounds on Wilson. And Novas now have two in that fashion.
But of course, the Gulls, a team that can find their way back into a contest like this very quickly, and now a penalty on the way. It's going to be a tripping call. And I think he's going to get the gate on that one. Alice Don McDonald, so now fresh off making it 3-0, a big penalty kill here for the Novas as the Gulls have a chance to give themselves a little bit of life.
Yeah, Mac Donnell went for the old-fashioned hip check there. I thought it was a great hip check. I haven't seen one of those in a little time. It's kind of out of the style of the game now, but I thought it was a good check, but he'll be in the box for the tripping call. And for the Gulls, I said it just moments ago, get pucks to the net, get a rebound, and bury it home.
That one just misses there, and this one almost feels like one they must score on to keep pace here as Ruiz takes it in behind the net. Here's Che Ruiz. Will look up ice. Got to use all five guys out there as they'll sling it back. Here's Grayson Sears. We'll play that one up for Cranston. Bowen Cranston plays it across, flings it. Douglas shoots, scores! Parker Douglas, maybe, just maybe, gives the Gulls a little bit of life. Parker Douglas joins the party.
Yeah, great job. Cranston waited, set things up, and a risky pass across ice. I thought it almost got picked off. I thought it did get picked off. Found Douglas, and Douglas, like I said, just got pucks to the net and it found a way in.
And that's one of those goals that a great awareness from Cranston to see Douglas on the other side. And Parker Douglas was just fourth in team scoring, but maybe one of the biggest goals of the season thus far to pull them back to within two.
Yeah, he's had a great play, provincials here too this weekend, so look for him to also continue to be a factor here in this one.
They'll send that one down low, swings it back around. Sampson dropping it off, back the other way now. Here comes Peoples looking to respond for the Novas, taken away now by Lokua Calvert. Calvert has that one stolen away. Peoples with a shot up high on Esba. That one knuckled on him. Back up top now for Rain McDonald with a shot. And Esba, a save from distance through traffic. Peoples working that one down low. Novas trying to grind the clock a little bit, maybe trying to get to the intermission. Still with a bit of a cushion as that one's collected now by Sampson. He'll be happy to play that one back. Asher Sampson looking up ice. Instead, he'll play it back. Not going to take any unwarranted risks here as that one's passed ahead now. Settled down by the Gulls. Here's Noel. Well, play it across. Stolen away now. Lincoln McDonald. He's got one. Lincoln McDonald. He's in. And I'm not sure if he got the stick lifted, but he couldn't get any lift on that one. And an opportunity down the drain as Zwicker tried to chip that one past the Novas defender. Instead, that one's fired back in here. Esba playing that one off. Kennedy battling here down low with Lincoln McDonald. Noel Romard out there as the Novas look to respond. Romard Back up top. Plays it across. McMullen shooting. Blocked there by Zwicker. Doesn't let that one get through as McMullen plays it for Colton McIsaac. McIsaac back up for McMullen. McIsaac along the hashes shooting. Glove down by Esba. Rebound, and Esba will just cover that one up here with 5:42 to go. But now the Novas have their foot on the gas as they look to flip this one back in their favor.
Yeah, another good shift by the Novas. You saw the man who missed the breakaway, partial breakaway, Lincoln McDonald, after a goal last shift coming out. He had a great shift there. He's fired up for the championship here today.
Shot on, and that one's steered away by the paddle of Esba. McMullen sending that one back in. That defense pair staying out. They're eating a lot of minutes for the Novas as Miller Cannon has it here. He's got Cranston and Sears with him. Here they come. Cannon with a shot there. That one's blocked. Miller Cannon plays it down low. Sears out in front. He couldn't get it on his forehand. Out in front, loose, spinning and firing. And that one doesn't get through as McMullen will chip that one off the wall. And that one flipped up now. Ruiz. They would have been offside, and they won't take that as that one's flipped up here with 5 minutes to go in the second. Picked up now. Back the other way. Sampson dangles in. Out in front. It's loose, and Esba gets the paddle on it. Gets it to Sears. Up to the line, but not out. Here's McDonald. Picking that one up is Cranston. And Bowen Cranston finds Sears. Here comes Grayson Sears waiting for reinforcements. Drops it back now. There's Cannon at the end of a long shift here, and he'll head off as Romard will collect that one back in. Cranston steals it away. Bowen Cranston almost gets it right back, and Rain McDonald will pass that one up, and the Novas will just chip that one out to safety. And at the end of a long shift, we'll get a few fresh bodies out there as that one's going to be collected now. Here comes Douglas, the goal scorer for the Gulls. Douglas over the line, and that one's going to be offside with 4:13 remaining here in the second period. So game opening up a bit, and for the Gulls, that's just what you want. How do you manage this on the defensive side as the Novas?
Yeah, I think that has been the most dangerous shift for Cranston so far, and you saw, I think, Cranston starting to adapt here, trying to work it into the offensive zone and sustain some offensive zone time and try to work down the Novas as opposed to showing quick hitters off the rush.
Here's Parker Douglas once again. Gives that one back, and pressed out along the boards there was Jollymore. Here's McMullen. The captain will flip that one up all the way down, and Ruiz gets a stick on that one. Will steer it to safety with McIsaac, patrolling him closely. Back for Henneberry. Henneberry has it stolen away now by Romard. Here's Noel Romard, dangerous, shooting, knuckles on Esba. And he covers that one up with Noel Romard forcing a turnover. And when he's been noticeable, Romard has generated a lot in the way of offensive opportunities.
Yeah, we get to talk to him after the big win yesterday over Pictou, and he was pretty excited. He's all in for this Nova squad. You should see the hairdo the kid has underneath that helmet down there on the bench right now. It is something else, that is for sure.
Well, and you could tell he's feeling it right here, forcing turnovers left and right, and big scoring opportunities as that one's steered away, picked up now by Jollymore. Finds Zwicker through a sea of sticks there, passing that one ahead now. Here comes Douglas. Parker Douglas cutting wide. Douglas out in front there for Zwicker, couldn't find the tape. Back the other way now. Here they come. Over the line, dashing through. Shot right on, and that one swings right back around. Here's Gillis with a shot and sending that one just wide now. Picked up is Duggan. Turns that one over. That's a backhand off the boards. Duggan chops that one free. Back the other way now. They got numbers, but they'll fire that one right into the glove of Esba here with 3:06 to go. And Esba doing a great job tracking. And as a netminder, too, when you're down in a game like this, you want to find a way. You know you can't give up that next goal. And that next goal is going to be a biggie.
Yeah, he's a gamer, man. He plays very hard. He plays very quick, too. He's a quick-moving goaltender, so I think you're going to see him put everything on the line. As you saw in that save a few minutes ago, he's all in for the Gulls as well.
Down to 3 minutes to go here in the second before we head off for the flood. As Ruiz passes that one up for Miller Cannon. Cannon passes up over the line. Cannon, cross ice there for Sears, couldn't settle it. Here's Grayson Sears. Plays that one across now, picked up by the Novas. They'll chip that one up here for Asher Sampson. It's 1 against 3 Gulls. He's got a man coming in. Sampson got to wait for the reinforcements. Back up top now. Walking downhill pressure, shooting on Esba. Rebound is loose, and Esba hopping all over that one. But the Novas maybe getting a little bit ahead of themselves there. They just had the 2-on-5. But for the Gulls, you almost want to force a turnover in that situation.
Yeah, no, the Gulls tried to isolate the guy on the far side. A great job finding the trailer coming in there. And a great opportunity for the Novas on that quick transition.
Face off here out to the right of Esba. That's picked up now. Romard off the outside of the net. Romard back up here for McIsaac. That one's going to be chipped up to the line. Sends that one right on. Plays it back now. Here's Paxton Kennedy. Plays it across, and Noel will flip that one up and down the ice, and they'll give that one chase here as McMullen. Plays that one ahead now. Romard loses the battle there here to Lokua Calvert. Here comes Calvert, cutting wide. Works that one right back. Inside 2 minutes to go. Plays it across now. Noel tried to fire that one in. Lincoln McDonald meets him. Calvert turning that one over here for Omard. Nova's playing that one up now. Works it back in behind the net. Kennedy off the back wall here. Inside 90 seconds to go as Noel flips that one up back over the line. McKinnon turns that one back over, and he turns it over at the line and almost gave it right back for Cranston now. Here come the Novas, springing a man up ice. Cutting wide there was Colin Crawford, has the opening goal in this one as Crawford gets tangled up with a Gull here. That one's picked up now. Here's Grayson Sears. Works that one up over center. Now over the blue line, Sears drops it back. Ruiz with a shot on the doorstep. It's loose there, and it gets cleaned up by Rain McDonald. Cranston patrolling him. He turns it over for Cannon. Out in front, but the defense there just to clean that one up. Back the other way now. Here comes Asher Sampson. 45 seconds left. Sampson drops it into the middle, and the defense will take that one away from Esba. Maybe ill-informed, but that one comes back the other way nonetheless. Here comes Cranston. Cranston with a shot, sends that one wide. Back up top, Henneberry gives that one back for McMullen. McMullen plays it. Kennedy passed up. That one's all the way down the ice. We'll give it chase, and that one's going to have just enough here to eke out an icing with 22 seconds to go. So an offensive zone faceoff coming up here for the Novas, and a big chance here. They might get the last look here of the period.
Yeah, with 22 seconds, it's going to take a very quick push through on the draw to try to get something back for the Gulls. So it's looking like the Novas are going to get the last little crack at the can here in the second.
But don't write the Gulls off yet as Kennedy gets that one. He'll throw that one down the ice. His glove down. Cranston gets it. Here comes Cranston. Almost turned that one over, but picked up by the Novas, and they'll get that one to center. Fire it down. Henneberry pressed out here. Here come the Novas. Romar drops it back in behind the net, but time will expire, and it will run out. But at the end of period number 2, it's the Novas who find themselves ahead by 2. 3-1's the score as we head into the third period. We'll be right back here after the flood. Stick with us. You're listening to High Button Sports here from the 2026 U15 Major Provincial Championships. Welcome back, everybody. Period number 3 ready to get underway. You're listening to High Button Sports here from the 2026 U15 Major Provincial Championships. Nova's lead at 3-1, 20 minutes away, have not won a provincial championship since 2017. And meanwhile, the Gulls looking to rise back to the top for the first time since 2023. And in that period, we didn't see a lot of high dangerous opportunities from that Cranston line. What do the Gulls have to do to get back in this game?
Yeah, like I said it before, I think getting pucks to the net and crashing hard, getting a greasy goal is going to kind of maybe shift some momentum, and maybe the Gulls will realize, oh, that's how we're going to have to score goals against this team tonight.
That one's picked up now by the Novas, fired on, and that one pops right back out in front, and the Novas maybe almost a fortuitous bounce that almost served its purpose for them as the Gulls will flip that one up. Played up by Peoples. That one's collected as Henneberry takes a hit there along the boards. That one's going to be fired right back in. Swung back around Crawford, dropping that one off. Here's Peoples. We'll play that one up over center, over the blue line, cutting wide. Trying to get a shot through there, back in behind as the Novas get a fresh line out there. And you can imagine the whole mantra here is going to be short shifts as Sears works it in over the line. Grayson Sears, 1-on-3, steered away. Here's Cranston spinning and firing, and didn't get a lot on that one as he fans on it. That one's taken back the other way now. Novas will work that one ahead over the line. Waved off here as Colton McIsaac comes away with it. Here's McIsaac back up top, shooting, and that one's not all the way through. Back the other way now. Here come the Gulls trying to ride the wave as Parker Douglas gets a shot off there. Romard battling with Cranston down low. Picked up and flipped off the glass down the ice. And you can expect a healthy dose of Cranston and Sears. But we talked in the intermission of maybe wanting to get a different look on that line. As that one's out in front on the doorstep there. That one's steered away by Esba. Here's Rain McDonald shooting, and that one's steered away. Picked up now. Here comes Noel. Passes it up for Douglas. Finds his man on the other side. Here's Jack Zwicker taking a shot there. That one's gloved down. And in the intermission, we did talk about maybe wanting to get a different look on that top line. Why would you want Jack Zwicker to join that trio and bump Miller Cannon down to the second line?
Well, I just think Miller would fit in with maybe some of the guys that have a little more skill, and they'll grind out some shifts in the offensive zone. And I think Jack Zwicker can implement a little bit more poise on that top line. I think he's got a great set of hands, a great vision on him as well, and I think he would go complementary well with the two forwards in Sears and Cranston.
Swung right back around. Here's Dufour. Works that one back in. And we talked about the contrast of maybe over-adjusting and wanting to put a little bit more grit on that line to win pucks. But that's not what they've been struggling with here. What have they been struggling with that they haven't been able to gain any traction?
I think their offensive zone time, they haven't been able to sustain it for long periods of time and create and wear down the Novas in the offensive zone and create that cycle game that has worked in hockey and especially playoff time for years and years before.
Here's Crawford. Plays that one across. Fired off the boards. Dufour turns it over here for Peoples. Here's Rylan Peoples trying to work his way through, and he gets stopped up there as he gets boxed out, and that one's going to be chipped off the glass. Right here to Cranston, right back out there. Works that one up to the blue line, fires it right back around. Miller Cannon. Cannon works it down low. McMullen flips that one up, stops it in here at the line. Trying to send that one up. Comes right back here for the Gulls. Trailing by 2, but a 2-goal lead can flip in an instant.
It is the worst lead in hockey, Sean.
Most certainly is, and at times a 2-goal lead can feel like just a 1-goal lead. The margins are still so narrow. If the Gulls get one, they're right back in it. As that one's picked up by Cranston, and the Novas will get that one stolen away now. Lincoln McDonald gives that one here for Romard. No, Romard takes a fall, no call. The bench wanted one, not going to get it.
No, he just got toe picked up there. The stick was down and he was trying to get it, but I don't think Cranston made contact with the feet. And oh, Cranston got dumped there.
A big hit there. Physicality ramping up. And now penalty on the way. And who are they taking?
I think it's going to be Cranston.
And Cranston getting the call. in a big moment here. 16:36 to go, and the Novas, who already have a power play goal, they're 1 for 2, and a chance here to restore that 3-goal lead here in the third period. A big power play coming right up as Peoples loses that faceoff, but gets it right back. Peoples back in behind the net, looking to advance that one back up top. Plays it along the wall, walking in. Asher Sampson can't find a way through. McMullen plays it back for Asher Sampson. Sampson walks in, shooting. That one's blocked. Comes right back. McMullen holds the zone. Shot right on, and Esba will glove that one down. And for the Novas here, they've already cracked the code. They found a way to score a power play goal. How big is this one?
It's huge, Sean. It's going to give them that separation and their 3-goal lead back, which if you're the Novas, you probably feel a little bit more comfortable with a 3-goal lead as opposed to a 2-goal lead, as most teams would, as a 2-goal lead is the worst lead in hockey.
Shot right on, and they don't have the threat of Cranston out there right at the moment as Romard loses the battle there. That one comes right back. McMullen will play that one up over here to the blue line. That one comes right back. Sends it up now. Short-handed break. Here comes Grayson Sears. Works that one up over the blue line. Sears cutting wide. Grayson Sears is in short-handed, and he gets taken out. No call on the play, but Sears goes crashing into the net.
What a move by Sears to get around the defenseman, and hopefully Wilson's already. Looks like he's okay, but Sears barreled himself into the net, and a great job by Wilson to keep that puck from sliding through him and into the back of the net. Sears not too happy, going off to the bench as he thought he might have got interfered or hooked down there as he was driving around the defenseman. So we'll look to see if the Gulls can continue this pretty solid PK here so far, as they've killed off 49 seconds here so far of the 2 minutes.
And a faceoff will come out to the left of Landon Wilson. An offensive zone faceoff for the Gulls as Douglas wins it back, so they'll kill off even more time as Ruiz will fire that one back around. But they did exactly what you said, Logan, in crashing the net, getting pucks right to the goal. It's a cliche for a reason, as they almost capitalized there.
But it works, Sean.
It certainly does, as the Novas will try to do that themselves. Back up top now. Plays it across. Romard back here for Sampson. Asher Sampson back for Romard, who holds it in, being dogged here by Pelham. Romard firing that one just wide. Here's Sampson. Picks that one up, and Pelham will fire that one back down. Less than 30 seconds left on the man advantage. 5 minutes gone here in the third. Novas looking to advance that one. McMullen plays that one back in. Will look to send it up ice. Pelham works it in. Takes a shot there. That one hits a stick. Back up top now. Here's McIsaac. Walks in. McIsaac with a shot. Esba gives up a rebound there, and he was almost all over that one. They play that one up. Stolen away by the Novas. Takes a shot there. That one's blocked. McIsaac will send that one back down. Got a stick in the hands there of Paxton Kennedy. Plays it back now. Grayson Sears. Stolen away there by McIsaac, who sends it back down, but it's a successful penalty kill for the Gulls. And a big one there as Miller Cannon looking up ice. Cranston fresh out there. Grayson Sears chasing that one. Roddy Gillis will chip that one to safety to Rain McDonald. Back here, Colton McIsaac, a little backhand up off the glass, and that one stays in play and gets out. Over center, now over the blue line. They'll work it in. Henneberry pressed out there by Rain McDonald. McIsaac will play that one ahead now. Here comes Sampson. Asher Sampson, he's in! Sends it just wide. And Esba knocks the net off here with 13:38 to go in period number 3, but a golden opportunity there for the Novas.
What a display of speed from number 10 for the Novas. Asher Sampson got the step, tried the one-hand tuck around the pad, just pushed it a little wide. And wow, what a chance there for the Novas to try to regain their 3-goal lead. Even strength at that.
Face-off here comes out to the right. And that one's going to be shot right on and stopped by Esba.
We almost saw another goal quickly off the draw there, Sean. The Novas have been intense on each and every draw. They'll switch up defenseman Kennedy and Dufour out. And I've really liked the way Paxton Kennedy has played here in this game. He's blocked some shots. He's a very, very solid puck-moving defenseman with some very, very good poise.
Shot right on, and another stop by Esba. And you can see the Novas maybe just trying to pelt whatever they can Esba's way, trying to get that decisive fourth goal to put them back up by 3.
Yeah, they've done a really good job at that so far. They've thrown the house in the kitchen sink at Wyatt Esba. They found a way to beat him 3 times, and now they look for number 4.
Face-off one back here by the Gulls. Looking to send that one off the boards there, and but shoot, scores!
Wow, what a shot.
And just like that, it's a 1-goal game. That one, lightning quick strike.
What a shot from Jollymore. He picked the corner. There wasn't much to shoot at, especially Wilson being a bigger goaltender and all. He ripped that one home, and the second line contributing now for the Gulls.
And you can even
tell. For the second time. That's the second goal from that line.
Exactly, and you can even tell the bit of shock from us. It seemed like a bit of a nothing play, but what a shot there from Jollymore. And the Gulls all of a sudden back to within 1, and something I wanted to highlight was that the Gulls have not been held to less than 3 goals all season long, and just 4 times have they scored less than 4, but now they're right back in this one now. Picked up, swung back around. Up top shooting. Cranston's got it now and bobbles that one now. The Nova's in need of another goal to keep this one at an arm's length. They'll walk in, takes a shot there up high on Esba, and he'll glove that one down. But now a little bit of life for the Gulls, and you give them that little bit of hope. A high-octane offense can certainly find their way back into this one.
Yeah, the momentum definitely swung in the favor of the Gulls with a goal there from their second line. And we'll see how this top line now responds here. I didn't know that stat about the 3 goals, so you're pretty much saying to me is it's going to take at least 4 or more to beat this Gull squad.
Well, in just 5 times all season long, including a win against the defensively stout Warewell Bombers and this Novas team, they haven't been held to any less than 4. All but 5 times, so what the Gulls are going to have to do, they're going to have to find another way to solve Wilson, who has been strong when given the chance here, but now an opportunity in an offensive zone draw as Sampson wins that back. Frazier rushes to hold the line. It's in the skates of Douglas here. Plays that one back across. McMullen. Back for Sampson now. Asher Sampson drops that one back. Novas not going to deviate here as that one's off the boards. Back the other way. Here comes Peoples. Right into the middle. Trying to chip that one ahead for Sampson, just out of his reach, and that one gets chopped here by the Gulls. Sent up. Defense for the Novas will collect. There's Frazier. Sends that one down in. Still just around 12 minutes to go. And the Gulls pull them back to within 1. And sometimes when you're trailing by 2, the hardest one to get is that first one there is Sampson. Trying to find a lane through. Sampson plays that one across. He's got a look. Shooting down low. Rebound in front, and Esba makes the stop. But like I just highlighted there, Logan, when you're trailing by 2, the hardest one to get is to pull within 1. And now all of a sudden, it's not so far.
Yeah, a 2-goal lead, you're like, oh, man, we can't find a way to beat Wilson. We can't find a way to beat Wilson. And then you go down and you snipe one on him. You're like, oh, maybe he is human. Maybe we can get one on him. So now you're just in within 1. Now the momentum and your energy starts to get up and up and up, and you're trying just to will and pull your team back into the offensive zone and into this game and get a fresh start at 3.
And what a time to do it that would be, as Colton McIsaac will fire that one back in. And if you're the Novas, you have to be careful not to fall into that game of survival. You're not trying to survive. You're trying to find insurance here, as Pelham works that one and will flip that one in. Back in behind the net. Calvert out in front of your Pelham. Can't get a stick on that one. McIsaac back the other way now. It's a 3-on-1 for the Novas as that one's poked off the stick of McIsaac. And that one's going to be an offside. But a chance for the Novas back the other way. And like I just said, you can't get comfortable. You can't fall into that game where You're protecting the lead. You have to play as if it's a tie game.
Yeah, absolutely. But I just want to go back. What a great stick by Paxton Kennedy there. It was a 3, potential 4-on-1, and he broke it up and set them offside. Great stick from number 7. Good back-to-back shifts. Is if there was an assist for the 3rd touch on the puck, he would have it on that last goal for the Gulls.
That one's going to be collected now by the Novas. Comes right back and will be fired right back in by Chase Noel. Swinging that one around is McMullen. Flips it up, back the other way. Here comes Peoples. Rylan Peoples over the line. He's got one. Peoples drops it, shooting. And that one, Knuckles and Esba had to adjust to that one as it hit his stick, found its way through. And as a netminder, you're almost expecting that one to come off like a rocket, but with a fan. What kind of challenge does that pose for Esba?
Yeah, it kind of maybe you're thinking it's going to be a hard shot. You go to react one way, and it might just trickle back the other way and find its way to the back of the net. So a really good job there by Esba, reading the change in pace on the shot.
Face off out to the left, one back by the Gulls. Chipped up the boards here by Mason Dufour. Right back for Parker Douglas now. The first goal scorer for the Gulls will skate it up, and he's dangerous in transition with a lot of speed here. Douglas lays a man out there. And that one's going to be chipped up. Romard finds McIsaac on the other side. Here's Colton McIsaac. He gets past Dufour for Romard in front, and he couldn't get a stick on that one. Swings it back in behind for Romard, looking to center it. Romard, saucer pass, McIsaac shoots, and a great pad save by Wyatt Esba as he sprawls across and gets the pad on it. That one's back the other way now. Collected now, Romard. Skates it up. At the end of a shift, he'll move that one ahead. Romard using his stick work to work his way through, but what a save by Esba there. And another one from center ice there, but what a stop by Esba, stretching the pad out to get a piece of it.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about his save where he pulled one off the goal line. How about that one, keeping his team now within 1 here in the 3rd period on an absolute dandy of a pad save.
None bigger than that one as Sampson gives it for Crawford, and that one knuckles on Esba as he punches it aside. Here's Crawford. Right back for Peoples. Stolen away now by Miller Cannon, and he's going to slap that one up. Here's Cranston. Will move that one up, but taken away by Sampson. Inside 10 minutes now as Sampson walks in. Shooting, tried to pick a spot up high. Frazier sends that one back down low. Sampson got a piece of it, and now he's going to chase Dufour here. He matches up with him, and he takes a hit there, picked up as Dufour sends that one back up over the blue line, and they'll fire that one back in. Works it right back now. Paxton Kennedy looking up ice. Romard watching him. Romard seeing a bit of a double shift here. A penalty on the way. And that one will be charged, it looks like, to the Novas.
Yeah, Romard not going to be happy about that one. He thought he did everything he could to not take a penalty there, but he just tied Paxton Kennedy up, who had a step on him. And as a result, it's going to be the Gulls' 3rd power play of the evening.
And the Gulls, who are 1 for 2 with the man advantage, have a glorious opportunity to draw back even and give us a new game with just over 8 minutes to go, as that one's up to the line. Played back, Zwicker with a shot, and that one's redirected. But Landon Wilson equal to the task. But the Novas with a big penalty kill in front of them here to set them up for the rest of the way.
Absolutely, they can build momentum off this penalty kill with a very, very solid defensive performance here so far. They look to try to continue it here and kill off this very important penalty kill.
That one's played back now for Kennedy. Kennedy will play it across for Noel. Up for Zwicker. He's got open ice ahead of him. Here comes Jack Zwicker. Drops it here. Losing a stick there. Shooting up high, and Wilson equal to it, and he sticks with it. And your best penalty killer has to be your goalie. And if you're Wilson, how do you play it, those shots from the perimeter? You want to keep it to the perimeter, and you can suspect the Novas will, but how do you play those?
Yeah, I think coming out big and taking out away as much as the net as he possibly could. And as mentioned, a bigger goal. He's got a big chest protector. He takes up a lot of the net. So for me, I think Wilson, he's got to come out and challenge the shooters and make them try to pick a spot like Jollymore did on that last goal.
Face off here out to the left of Wilson. One back by the Gulls, so that power play gets set up here with ease. Ruiz across here. Here's Miller Cannon. Back up here for Douglas. Douglas with a shot. Sends it wide. Here for Cranston. Bowen Cranston up for Ruiz. Back for Cranston now. Dangerous along that half wall. Here's Ruiz. Back for Cranston. Bowen Cranston plays it across. Up top now, Ruiz. Cranston, one-timer, shoots, and a pad save. Rebound, they score! The game is tied.
Get pucks to the net, create rebounds, and see what happens. The Gulls taking a page out of the Nova's, I guess, playbook, you could say there. And a power play goal by the fashion of get pucks to the net and see if you can find a rebound in tight. Parker Douglas, what a game he has had here this afternoon.
2 power play goals for Parker Douglas, and the old mantra, never say die. And the Gulls do just that, and they have new life with 7:57 to go. We're on track for a photo finish here from Zatzman, as that one's back in behind. Now the Novas in desperate need of a response here. Haven't had any momentum since the Gulls came in and made it a 3-1 game. Back in behind the net, and that was a good job by Douglas. Just corralling that puck in front is Douglas now. Skating that one up over the line. Gulls looking for another strike. Backhands it, sends it just wide. Novas chipped that one up the wall. Not strong enough here as Douglas gloves it down. McIsaac bats that one off the puck, and that just showcases just how good this Gulls team is. They were down but not out. Here comes Fraser. Walks in, shooting. That one's blocked. Picked up now. Zwicker will skate that one up ice. There's that speed that you showcased on Zwicker. Works it up over the line. Zwicker gets it poked off his stick. Out in front, and the Novas will collect. Looking to move that one up ice. Finds Romard. Looking for a response here. Noel Romard. Cutting wide now. Romard back in behind the net. He's going to be boxed out here. Gets that one. The Novas give it right back for Romard. Bounces off his stick, and no one there for it, so the Gulls recollect as Cannon. Moves that one back, and they'll get a line change in there as that one's passed ahead now. Here they come. A shot right on, and Esba makes the stop here. And for the Novas, you've been protecting a lead for so long, but now with the game tied, you need a way to find one. How do you go about that?
Yeah, I think they got to get back to the way they were playing in the first period. Pressuring the D-man for the Gulls, getting pucks in deep and going to work. I think that's their bread and butter, and I think they got to try to get back to the way they started this game off.
That one's chipped ahead now. Sears looking to move that one up. That one's fired off the boards. We'll send that one right back down. It's picked up as Henneberry fires it off the boards. Here comes Miller Cannon, and I'm sure you're still going to see a healthy dose of that top line here for the Gulls as Cannon gets it back. Henneberry with a shot, pad save, rebound, Cannon on the doorstep is Sears. It's loose, spinning on the doorstep, and that one's stopped by Wilson.
Wow,
with
Wilson.
the puck looming in the crease. But what a mad scramble.
Landon Wilson keeping his team tied up with the Gulls here late in the third period. You saw a couple big saves from Wyatt Espa. Now you're going to see him down 200 feet from Landon Wilson.
And Landon Wilson and Wyatt Espa, the two coolest men in the building here today. McMullen swings that one back down into the corner, but the Gulls getting that forecheck going, trying to win it back and trying to get that offensive pressure back. That's picked up now by the Novas. They'll chip that one up. Here comes Colton McIsaac, had 2 goals in game number 1 of this weekend, as that one's going to be swung right back around, and I'm sure he's in need of one right now for his team. Fraser takes a fall there. That one's going to be passed up now. Back the other way. Here they come over the line, and that one's going to be offside with 5:28 to go. And behind the bench for the Novas, how do you calm a team down? You just gave up a 3-goal lead. They just tied it. How do you calm them down to get them back to an equilibrium?
Well, we've talked about riding the highs, riding the lows. You kind of want to stay even keel, and I think for these guys, I think that's going to be the message. All right, boys, you were way up high at the start of the game. You might be down low right now. You got to find a way to get back to that nice even keel momentum-wise for the remainder of 5 minutes of this period.
Working it back down maybe. And as we get closer, the specter of overtime looming large as that one's passed ahead now. Back the other way. Here comes Peoples. Peoples shooting. Stopped by Esba. Point blank out in front. That one almost took a weird hop as Crawford plays that one back. Fraser can't hold the line. Turns it over. Here comes Douglas. He's got two. Douglas stopped by Wilson. Trying to jam it away, and that whistle will go. But an opportunity for Parker Douglas. And boy, hasn't he been an absolute stud for this Gulls offense.
Yeah, he has. He came to play today. Wow, what a break for the Gulls. Also a break for the Novas just because of the fact that they were up by 2 and they also almost just went down by 2. 2 big saves from Wilson to keep this one tied up. They got to find a way to get some offensive zone time here in the remainder of this one.
Cranston wins the drawback for Ruiz. Ruiz plays it across for Noel. Lincoln McDonald flipping that one up. Picked up now, a 2-on-1 the other way. Romard, he's got a man with him. Cross ice, out in front. Not there for Romard as he tried to chip it back. Might have hit the defensive stick. Lincoln McDonald, and a chance there for the big guns on the Novas. Can't capitalize. That one's back the other way. Here's Cannon, will fire that one in. Back in behind the net. Swinging it back up. Noel with a shot. Takes a bounce there. Flutters a rebound. And Wilson makes the stop there as that one, another one that we talked about with Esba, the changing of speeds, and Wilson had to adjust.
Yeah, I talked about getting pucks to the net and crashing the net. The Gulls, you didn't see too much of it from them in the first 2 periods. Now here in the third, especially in the last 2 minutes or so, that's what they've been doing, putting pucks on net, trying to bang home rebounds. They rewarded once off of it on the power play goal from Parker. So we'll see if they keep with that recipe here to try to win this one.
Cranston spins and shoots, and that one's blocked. He got a couple of looks there. But the Nova's not going away. Passes it up now. Colin Crawford drops it back. Peoples blows a tire. It's back the other way now. A 4-on-3 odd man rush. Here's Cranston, works it up top, drops it back for Sears, who shoots, and that's a good defensive stick there as that one gets redirected into the netting, out of play.
Yeah, you saw Cranston pick his head up, realize he had numbers, tried to cut to the net, and you saw the chemistry there with Sears. Almost seemingly, Cranston and Sears crossed over behind each other, and the puck transferred sticks almost seamlessly right off his stick. Cranston didn't fight it. Sears picked it up, let a shot go, and a fortunate and a great stick there by the defenseman for the Novas.
Face off here to the left of Wilson. We're inside 4 minutes here. Shot from the point and quickly entering next goal wins territory as that one's going to be picked up here by Romard. Romard off the boards, but that one's held in by the Gulls. Not for long, though, as the Novas take it back. Lots of open ice ahead of him here. Here comes Lincoln McDonald with a shot. That one knuckles on Esba. Settled down by Henneberry. Romard chasing it down. Romard comes away with it. Chips that one down low. Just past Esba. Here's Romard. Pressed along the wall, and they're going to wait for reinforcements here, but 3 Novas on that tight side there as that one goes into the bench, out of play, and a much-needed offensive zone draw for the Novas.
Absolutely. They've had a couple defensive zone draws against, and now it's time for them to try to get something on the board here in the third period, as they haven't scored since the second, and it's been all Gulls here in the third as they've come back, trailed by 2 to start the period, now back to a tight game here with 3:19 remaining.
Cranston swings it around. McMullen with a shot there. That one hits a stick on the way through. Back the other way now. Here comes Miller Cannon. Cannon firing that one around. Cranston looking to center it out in front. That one hits a stick back the other way now. Maybe trying to work a little too quick. Spinning. He's got Crawford with him. Walks in. Trying to center it backhand. Trying to jam it. They score! The Novas! 2:52 on the clock. The Novas regain the lead in a moment none bigger than that.
And who better than that man right there? Asher Sampson. What a game he's had. What a move to beat the defenseman. What a move to get out front and just able to slide it 5-hole. Wow, what a goal to put his team back up on top. And you see the bench right now saying, all right, boys, stay calm. Keep even keel. stay in that neutral zone area of being too high or too low on the momentum train.
And like you said, Logan, we've reiterated this all game long. You don't want to ride the highs too high or the lows too low. This is one of those moments for both these teams. The Gulls now in need of a response. They found it all game long, and do they have one more here to find some more magic? That one's back the other way. Picked up now. Up over the line. Walks in. Trying to drop it back. Shooting. Stopped by Esba, and a big save there. But one of the two losses all season long for the Gulls came at the hands of the Novas. It was a 4-3 loss back in the fall. And now the Novas looking to repeat history.
Yeah, very interesting. I was always told as a kid, history repeats itself. History repeats itself as we were getting knocked off time and time again by Bedford and found a way to beat them in the championship. Let's see if the Novas can do the same thing here tonight.
And it's a big face-off here in the offensive zone. Of course, you're not going to take your foot off the gas here. One of the top two lines here, Asher Sampson, the man with the go-ahead goal, back out there. That's picked up now by Henneberry. Gulls have to act quick. Up for Parker Douglas, and you can bet that next shift is going to feature that Bowen Cranston line as they look for an equalizer now. Back in behind, there's Paxton Kennedy looking up ice. Back the other way. 2 minutes to go now. Works it in, back in behind the net. Swings it out in front for Wilson, and he had a man right there. Parker Douglas on the doorstep. Taken away, out in front, spinning, and couldn't get the shot. Rebound, Douglas!
Oh.
It's loose in front, and Wilson will find it and covers that one up here with 1:47 on the clock.
Wow, what a save. Wilson, desperation, reached back with his paddle and kept it out of the back of the net. And Wyatt Espa is going to head to the bench. And I think the Gulls are going to call their timeout here to go over a quick play. Espa to the bench, the extra attacker out for the Gulls.
So you trail by a goal with 1:47 left, and a team, of course, you got to draw something up to do it quick. And if Esba's going to stay on the bench, you got to find a way to approach it and get that downhill pressure that we talked about.
Absolutely. And they're going to go with, looks like, Jollymore and Sears, Douglas, Cranston, Cannon, and Ruiz for the lone defenseman out there for the 6-on-5.
So it's a big moment here. Of course, that empty net can backfire, but Esba's done all he can do here, and it's 6-on-5.
So Zwicker actually is going to go instead of Jollymore. We mentioned him with a player who has got good poise in tight, so we'll see if he can't capitalize.
Here's
on
McMullen.
his opportunity.
Knocked down. Gulls have it. Cranston shoots off the outside of the goalpost, and you got to be careful to make sure that one doesn't squeak through. Time winding down. Here's Ruiz. Back up top now, Cannon. Back for Ruiz. Poked off his stick. McIsaac bearing down on Ruiz, and he comes away with it. And Che Ruiz gets some help. He's going to ring that one up here for Cranston. Advances it quickly. Cranston. That one gets stymied here by Zwicker. Zwicker will take it in over the line. Trying to work it through. Jack Zwicker dangles. Here for Cranston. Spinning, shooting on the doorstep there. Parker Douglas couldn't get the rebound. They're going to throw that one down the ice. It hits a goal and will go down the distance. No icing here with 1 minute left to go. Picked up now. Here's Ruiz back behind the net looking to advance it. He's got to move it quick. Approaching 50 seconds on the clock. Che Ruiz will fire that one back in. McMullen, the first one to it. Looking to send it up the wall, and that one gets out. But will it be enough for icing? And that one goes towards the net, and it has just enough. And the Novas bench not happy with that one as Ruiz slowed down at the last moment.
We'll see if the Novas call a timeout. I know their coaches had a quick chat about it. And the Novas now 37 seconds away from a provincial championship. Can the Gulls now play spoiler?
And you're always weary on those icings at the end here with one team looking for the equalizer. Picked up now. Fired up into the middle now. Here's Cranston. Drops it back there, and Zwicker couldn't handle that one. Gives it back for Cranston. Cross ice. Broken up by Romard. Romard will throw that one down. And will that one go? And it will not. With 22.3 to go. And the Novas, another big defensive zone draw coming up. They got the guys out there they want. They don't need that timeout. They just want to keep it rolling.
Wow, this is going to come down right to the last second here, Sean.
Face off, one back. Here's Ruiz. Drops it off. And Cranston looming on the other side. There is Wilson. That one slipped through, and man, oh man, that one came close. But Wilson recognized it before it became an issue.
That was his biggest save of the night. It wasn't maybe his best or his most polished, but for sure his biggest.
14.2 to go. A late goal from the Novas puts them on the cusp, but the Gulls trying to force overtime as Sears wins it. The Novas get it. Up to the line. That one's out. The Novas will send that one down, and that one's off the post. A rebound for Romard, and he scores the empty net. The Novas lead by 2 with 4.4 on the clock.
What a great job by Sampson to get the shot away. He got it off the post. McIsaac buries home the rebound, and the Novas, wow, they go up by 2. Then they're back to even and then regain their lead once again here late in the third period. And the Novas are going to be the 2026 U15 Major Provincial Champions, knocking off the #1 seeded Gulls coming into this tournament. What a game for the team in blue and white.
And the Gulls, who are the champions at the 2026 East Coast Ice Jam, will not reign over Nova Scotia here. And for the Novas, you've waited almost a decade for this one. For the first time since 2017, the Novas, 2026 U15 Major Champions.
They stuck to their game plan, and their game plan worked. They played solid defensive hockey all game long, and when it comes down to it, the high-powered offense of the Gulls couldn't find a way to crack through and break this one open as the Gulls held to just 3 goals for the third time all season long. What a performance from both teams. But for the Novas, congratulations. Enjoy the win, and good luck at Atlantics, boys.
And what a finish to that one. My heart absolutely thumping right now, as I'm sure everyone, a lot of you watching at home and a lot of the people here in the rink are feeling right now. And for the Novas, it's massive. First time in 9 seasons that they captured this feat here. And what a moment there, of course. For a player to win it, you stick with these coaches all season long. And Logan, can you take us into a little bit in what the player-coach relationship is for a championship team like this?
Yeah, listen, when I won my U18 championship, we had the huddle. Coming out of the huddle, I looked back, and I saw my coach, Tim Boyce, running full steam ahead of me, and he picked me up right into the air and gave me a massive hug. The relationship between these coaches and the players, it's special. It's when you're, 20, 30 years old, you see them in the rink. You'll never forget that championship you guys won together, and it's a moment that's going to bond these players and coaches for the rest of their lives.
And of course, at the other end for the Gulls, you fall just short, but a team that had a tremendous regular season. They looked absolutely unstoppable at times, and they felt inevitable at times this tournament.
Yeah, you see Sergeant Greenwood there. He's got his arm in a makeshift sling, so that doesn't look good for him to start the summer off. But a great season for the Gulls, just coming up just a little bit short. I mean, nothing to hang your head about if you're the team in white. They had a great season, just coming up a couple goals short in the final game, and a great, great season for them. As mentioned, nothing at all to hang your head about. If anything, use it as some fuel for the years to come.
Absolutely. Miller Cannon, player of the game for the Gulls, and we'll see who gets it here for the Novas. Lots of young men that you could give it to.
Absolutely. Well deserved. Well deserved.
Landon Wilson backstopping them to a championship, and we'll give you some sounds of the rink here as we enter the medal ceremony here. We'll be right back with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, can we get a round of applause for all 7 teams that have competed here this weekend in over 18 games? This tournament would not have been possible without the countless hours of our organizing committee and its many volunteers, so thank you. We also need to thank the community sponsors who stepped forward and allowed this weekend to happen. Our title sponsors, Castone Construction and Supplement King, Mike Danton's Hockey Academy, Lifemark, Sobeys Wholesale, White's Custom Crusting, Iron Maple Constructors, Carvery Construction, H&H Landscaping, James Higgs Real Estate, Dexter Construction, Arco Capital, High Button Sports, Excel Health and Sport Performance Center, Big 8, Repertoire, Eastern Signs, PCL, 849, Nova Truck Center, and Bromac Printing. And now, to award the civil debtors, to the Gulls, we welcome Todd Watson, President, and Pete Markor, Vice President of the Nova Scotia U15 League. We ask that the players and the call to please come forward to accept your medals. From the Gulls, Mason DeVore. Evan Cedric Greenwood. Davis Henneberry. Houston McDonald. Paxton Kennedy. Miller Cannon. Bowen Preston. Liam Johnmore. Lakua Kelber. Chase Goel. Grayson Sue. Adam Levy. Magnus Nordin. Jack Swicker. Simon Mellon. Charlie McKinnon. Shane Ruiz. Your team staff, manager Sheldon McKinnon, general manager Kevin Bailey, assistant coaches Bradley Shaw, Matthew Quinn, Mitchell McLeod, and Cody Grant, your head coach Robert Garfield. Correct. And now, the moment that's been waited for since last September, your gold medalists, the Novas. Dylan Mondercat. Alex Dan McDonnell. Eric Carr. John Purcell. Menton Austin. Alex McDonald. Oliver McMullen. Asher Simpson. Liam Duggan. Lincoln McDonald. Colton McIsaac. Avery Divers. Reese Gulls. Ryan Gulls. Ray McDonald. Colin Frazier. Colin Crawford. Russell McKinnon. Rylan Peoples. Noel Rivard. Landon Wilson. Luke Carter. Your team staff, the president, Shane McIsaac, vice president and trainer, Joe McDonald, strength and conditioning, Carla Sampson, your goalie coach, Richie Connors, assistant coaches, Mike DeCross and Ben McClellan, and your head coach, Jamie Matty. And now, could the captains of the Novas please come forward to accept the tournament trophy as Nova Scotia U15 Major Hockey League Provincial Champion. Atlantic Hockey Championships, your Novas!
And with that that is a wrap on the 2025-2026 season for us here at High Button Sports. On behalf of myself, Logan, and all the crew at High Button, thank you for your commitment all this year, and thank you for all those who tuned in with us the whole way. And Logan, any last words before we sign off?
Thank you guys for your support. Always love hearing the kind words on the feedback. Congratulations once again to the U15 2026 major champions, the Novas. Good luck in St. John, as mentioned before. And a quick shout out to my buddy Ben McClellan, the assistant coach. Go get him, buddy, and bring that Atlantic Championship back to Nova Scotia.
And once again, for the last time, signing off here for the 2025-26 season. We love you all and love all your support here at High Button. Thanks for tuning in every step of the way. We'll have more action coming your way here soon.